My name is Festus, and you're welcome to the Kundison podcast. Today with me is Dr. Sylvester, but I would like him to introduce himself. Doc, over to you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Steven Sylvester, or Dr. Sylvester, as he said. So it's nice to be here.
Okay. Today's interview, we're actually talking about the RVPO,
Yes.
or the Temporary Residence Permit with education. Or
Temporary Residency Permit for educational purposes.
For educational purposes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, can you introduce yourself? Just give a brief story about yourself before we continue.
So my name is Dr. Steven Sylvester, and I completed Temporal State Medical University and came to Russia, I think, in 2017 or so. So I've been here for some time, and there's nothing much to say actually. So that's just something brief about myself. So.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's just dive straight into it. We know you've recently attained your temporary residence permit.
Yeah,
or is it
correct.
Permanent residence permit? Which of them?
Temporary
Residence permit. Okay. So this interview is going to help us teach other people the process and how you went by it. So can you briefly share a motivation for staying in Russia? Why you applied for this temporary residence permit?
Alright, so I think as someone, I mean, we all have different kind of plans, most especially if you get to your final year. There are certain people who have specific kind of plans, like right after medical school, this is where I'm going. So if you think whatever aim or whatever goal you've set out to achieve, like you have the aim, like right from here, I'm going here. If you think you can just go about it straight away after your medical school, then there wouldn't be any need for you to do this temporary residence permit. But for some of us just do not want to put all the eggs in one basket. We just want to have so many options. So I think so if you're about completing or graduating and then you think your options are few, now the applying for the temporary residency permit for educational purposes should be one of the things you should consider. That is, if you don't have this kind of, if you don't have the, how am I going to suppose, if you don't have like the options you have are few. So it's going to be a very good thing for you to consider if you want to stay.
So like that means not going through the traditional way.
Right.
Okay. Which is like complete medical school, go back to your country, or probably write your exams and
Yes.
Okay. And then let's just dive straight into it. I wanted to ask about what steps did you take to apply for the temporary residence permit?
So now one thing before I answer that question, one thing a lot of people should consider is that we have the temporary residency permit, we have the temporary residency permit for educational purposes, and then we have a permanent residency. Now everybody in Russia, as far as you're here legally, qualifies for the temporary residency permit. However, every region or every state in Russia have a specific number of quota, just like slots. For example, in Stavropol, probably maybe we have about 100 quotas. That 100 quotas are meant to be for like 100 people. Now you're supposed to get the quota first before you can get the temporary residency permit. This is without education purpose, just temporary residency permit.
Okay, the regular one.
Yes, the regular one. And there's a lot of competition for that. So you'll be competing with other people from, let's say, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, all competing for 100 slots. Every state or region have the number of slots they have. Stavropol, I think, is less than 200. And so, if you're a student and you know the kind of school you go to is accredited and then is recognized by the Russian Federation, then the advice I want to give is, that is, if you have any future plans of trying to stay here for a while or for a longer period, is to go for the temporary residency permit for educational purposes. That's going to be the topic of discussion. So temporary residency permit for educational purposes is different from temporary residency permit. So, as I said, so some of the requirements or the processes involved in this is that first of all, you need to be in an institution that is recognized, like by the Russian Federation, like an accredited institution. You need to be recognized, and so if you are in such an institution, that means automatically you qualify for the temporary residency permit. Yes. So, for example, so this is how it is. Even if you come as a new student in your first year, you qualify to apply for it. If you're in second year, if you're in third year, but those who probably will be doing language courses now and might be thinking of trying to apply for it, for you, I can't say for sure. But what I know is once you start your official classes, like from first year to whatever year, if it's a medical school, first to sixth year, if it is an economic school or whatever school it is. So whatever school it is, if your bachelor degree is 4 years, you can also go ahead and then apply for it. So if you're in first year, for example, any first year student can apply for it. If you go, you apply, and then after applying, this is what they give you the rest of your 5 years you have left, like to complete your course plus extra 6 months. Now, the kind of documents you'll be needing. So the kind of documents you'll be needing to apply for such a thing is, first of all, you should get your a police report. The police report is one of the most important things. Some people call it a different word: police report, police certificate. Mostly, if you get that, that is going to be the first step, because that's one of the most challenging things a lot of students actually find themselves in, like to try to get a police report. So if you get a police report, you now go ahead, legalize the police report from the embassy. And then after legalizing the police report from the embassy, you have to take it to a place in Moscow. I mean, they have so many addresses, but they call them amidst. But most of the times in your cities, you see some of these government buildings with Moy document. It's just another name. So Moy document. So people in Moscow also have to go there for it to be authenticated by the Ministry of, I think, Interior. So once that is done, and then you have it. If you have it, then you can go ahead and then put the rest of the documents needed, and then you can go to the immigration office and officers. So they go ahead to fill the form. So the form is mostly filled by the immigration officers. So they fill the forms. Now there's also the options of you filling the form by yourself. There's an option for you to fill the form by yourself. But the thing is, if you try to fill the form by yourself and then you commit any error or any mistake, even if it's a full stop you're supposed to put, if you didn't put it, they'll send you back to refill the whole thing. So some of us try to, stay clear of the stress, and then we just allow the immigration officers to fill it. So once they are done with the filling, so apart from filling forms, you also have to go with get something we call spravka and vypiska. So the spravka is actually a letter from your dean's office that indicates that you're still a continuing student. So if you're in first year, it indicates you're still a continuing student in first year. If you're in second year, it indicates you're still a continuing student in second year. And then the vypiska is a letter, like your admission letter, a letter the school has to give you, like to indicate that, of course, you were given admission into the school. So that is the vypiska. So you have spravka, vypiska, and then you also have to get your medical certificates. Those medical tests we do yearly basis. Yeah, so you're supposed to have all the certificates, updated ones. So for example, if you did a medical test, let's say last year around March, and then you want to apply this year you're in January, so that means they've not expired yet. You can still use them. But anything beyond March, you have to go and redo the test and then use the updated version of the test to apply. So apart from the medical test, you also have to the police report as well, and also the green card. The green card that most of us have from doing the dactyloscopy, you also have to have it too. The inspector will ask you whether you have it or not. If you don't have it, then they will have to stop you there, and then you have to get that before you can proceed. And then we also have you have to pay estate duty. At that time, we paid 1,600 rubles. But right now, I think it's about 1,950. Mostly that's the amount you paid for your visa to be renewed. So that's actually the state duty. So yeah, so far that's just the summary of it. So is there any other
Okay.
questions?
So if I could maybe paraphrase what you said in simple steps. The first thing you need is your police report
Police report is the most
for the
important
country. So step one, your police report, at least make sure you have it.
So
Okay.
basically that's the only thing you need outside of Russia, the police report or the police certificate.
Which states that you don't have any criminal record. Okay. Good. Do you need a physical copy of the police report or a photo version of it?
So now, if you have a physical copy of the police report, it's perfect. But if you can't get access to it, and then you can just scan it at home by Khaled, and then you can send it through your mail, and you can forward it to your embassy. And this one is specifically for Ghanaians. I don't know for other nationalities. So for Ghanaians, they can send it through your mail, and then you forward it to the embassy, and then the embassy will do the translation.
So depending on which country you're coming from, your embassy might decide to either take the soft copy or insist on the hard copy.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a range for the price of the police reports when you request for it from Ghana? So is it a fixed price or it's something that is alternating?
So I think, so far as I can recall, or one of the mine, I think if you're there by yourself to do it, the price is different as to when you're not there. When you're not there, it should be around 1,350 Ghana cedis. I mean, the last time I checked, I did mine. But I think if you're there by yourself, it's almost half or even less than that. So I think that's the range of the price. If you're there, it's just it's different if you're there. But if you're here and then someone is doing it on your behalf, you have to pay more, 1,350 cedis.
Or plus extra for the
whoever doing the rounds.
Okay, so we had it here. The price currently, as at the time of recording of this particular podcast, was 1,350 or 50.
1,350 Ghana cedis.
1,350 Ghana cedis. I don't know the current equivalent into Russian rubles. Then step two, you need to legalize this police report from your embassy here.
Yes.
Okay, so with the Ghana embassy, is there a specific charge?
Well,
currently?
as far as I can remember, I think at the time I was doing mine, it was about around $40 or so. It was around $40. So I don't know if now it's increased or not, because it's been a while since I did mine. So at the time I was doing mine, it was $40. So if you're watching this, it'll be budgeting around $50 to $60, just in case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means you can quickly find out from the embassy how much.
Yes.
Okay. You can check our website. We have the address of the embassy. There are contact details over there at kundeson.com. KUNDESON.com. Or you just Google Ghanaian Embassy in Moscow and it's going to show you search. Maybe their website is going to pop up first, then you get the address from there. So both ways work. Okay. That is step two. So getting there. Then the next thing I heard you say was to send it to a place in Moscow. What do they do exactly over there?
So what they do is try to authenticate the credibility of the police report. So they do that, and after that, if they are satisfied with what they have, they also put their stamp. I think it's from the Ministry of Interior, Internal Affairs, but you have to take it to a place called Emphase. Or in other words, my document. Mostly they write my document, which literally translates my document. So I think that's where you're supposed to take it. There are some specific ones where you have to take their police report in order to be authenticated by the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Not every money document building does that. So if you go to you could go to any money document building in Moscow and they will ask you to go to a different address. So you should take note of that. I think that kind of legalization is only done in Moscow, so far as I know. But in our local cities here, you can't do it here. You have to take it to Moscow for it to be done in Moscow. As far as I know.
Okay. So how long does it take to be able to receive these documents from the
I think
from the money document people?
So after submission to the money document guys of the MFETSA, I think it will take from the time of submitting, it will take around 8 days or a week. 1 week to 8 days, which is 7 days to 8 days, working days. So within this, they should be ready.
Okay. Okay. So that means okay, we that probably might not be living in Moscow, can someone go on your behalf to do this documentation, or you would have to leave your city to get to Moscow to do this documentation?
Okay, so about that, if you have a contact in Moscow, and then that contact can help actually, I think someone can do it on your behalf. Someone can do it on your behalf. So if you have someone, you don't have to leave your city, travel all the way to Moscow, submit it, come back, because most of you have classes to attend, lectures and stuff. So you don't have to go submit, come back when it's ready, go back and pick it up again. No, if you have someone there, you can call them and then they can do it on your behalf. If it is ready, they can send it through the mail. It could be STEC, or it could be in even Puchtar and Russian postal service, and then it delivered to your doorstep or the closest post office in your area.
Okay. I know that sometimes when you're asking someone to do some documentations for you, you sometimes need to write a letter of authorization. Would you need that in this particular instance?
So in this particular instance, no. You don't need a letter of authorization.
Okay. So okay. Then the third, this was the third step. So the fourth step is when you now get your documents in your city and try to go and apply. Where do you go in your city to apply for this?
Okay. So you have to go to the immigration office. So in immigration offices, they vary. We have the passport installed, like most of the time that's where you're supposed to go. So they deal with issues like this. So if you come to my city, for instance, there are more than 6, 7 different immigration offices. So there's a specific one you should go to. But if you make a mistake and then go to the wrong one, and you explain to them why you're there, and will direct you to where you're supposed to go.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. So you get there. Is there any payments involved when you get there?
Immigration officers, each of them have what they do. So if you go to the wrong one, though, you tell them what you're there to do. They'll direct you to go to where you're supposed to, whatever you're supposed to. So if it is submission, they'll tell you, okay, you're supposed to go to address A, B, or C. So unless maybe your city doesn't have so many of them, and then they do everything like at one place, then well, that would be much better.
Okay. And also payments involved over there.
So the payment, well, it's entirely depends. Apart from paying for the state duty, so the state duty is not anything huge. Basically, each and every one of us pay. So whereas you're a foreign student, you pay. So that money we pay for the visas to be renewed every year. So that is a state duty. So at the time of doing mine, it was 1,600. But recently, I heard it's been increased to 1,950. I mean, in Starport here. But I don't know if different cities have different monies they pay to have their visas renewed. And apart from paying that, you have to fill some forms. Now, those forms that you're supposed to be filling, mostly if you fill them by yourself, you don't pay, you pay nothing to fill them by yourself. But if the immigration officers should go ahead to fill them on your behalf, then you have to pay an amount. I think at the time it was around 5,600 or so. Now, if you decide to fill them on your own, you
Again, 5,000 what?
I think 5,600 or so.
For someone to fill it on your behalf.
For the immigration officers to fill the forms on your behalf, yes.
That money goes to them personally, or it goes to the government?
The thing is, we are not paying by cash. So you pay, they take the machine and then you pay. So you can't tell whether it's going to the government or it's going to someone else's pocket.
So what if you are filling it by yourself? Do you still pay?
No, if you want to fill it by yourself, it's okay, it's fine, you can. But just make sure whatever you're filling is the right thing you're doing. They don't have issues with that. So you can choose.
And you don't pay?
No. You can choose.
So okay. So I'm a Russian guru and I think I can fill it by myself. I can just quickly just fill it by myself and not pay that 5,000 something.
Yeah, so yeah.
That is in our city. Maybe it might differ in different cities.
It might be different in different cities. If you want to fill by yourself, you can go ahead and fill by yourself. You can tell them you want to fill it by yourself and go ahead and do that. But just make sure you don't make any mistake. Even if it is a full stop or a common mistake, you have to go back and redo the whole thing again. So if you think you can be going through that kind of stress here and there, back and forth, you can actually choose for them to do it on your behalf.
It's like 5,600 there.
600. So the thing is, you
plus the state duty. So
yeah,
that means we are looking at
7,000 to 8,000 thereabout.
Oh, okay. So that means if you hear that, there's money involved in it, is actually the immigration officers actually filling this for you, not because you have to pay that amount of this thing to apply for.
So mostly, yes. So the required fee is a state fee, the state duty,
which is like your normal visa
payment, yes.
Which was I think 1,600 and now
it's 1,950, almost 2,000.
Okay. I think before you go to this particular place, you said you needed a spravka from the school.
Yes.
So what does the spravka say exactly? Meaning like the content of the spravka?
The content of the spravka is basically it just talks about the fact that you are still a student in a particular institution.
Okay.
So so you get it, and then in the spravka is indicated Mr. A is still a continuing student here. He's in the 3rd year of his studies and that, like something like that.
Okay. I heard a rumor, whether it might be true or not, that if you probably owe your university, they might not want to give you this spravka. Is it true?
Well, it varies from school to school. So some of them, for example, if it is semester you want to apply for it, and you need all those things from the dean's office or whichever office you need them for, the school can ask you to probably pay for this semester's fee and not the entire fee, or they can just ask you, you have to make your full payment before you can issue such a letter to you. So it depends. It varies from school to school. At the time I was going to take they asked whether I paid the fees. I said yes, and that was it. And they did everything. But the thing is, even at the time of doing, if you request from the school, like my school, where I completed from, they will go ahead and do it, and then it will be ready with them. If you go for the pickup, that is when they will ask you, have you paid the semester's fees or have you paid the fees? If you say no, then that means you have to take care of that before they hand over the spravka to you.
Okay. So how long does it take for after you now go and apply? How long does it take before you get any information?
So so after applying, after your documents have been accepted, anyway, let me go over the documents again. So you fill the form, and then you have to go along with passport pictures. I think 4 of them. They have a specific size. So wherever you go and take the passport pictures, whoever is taking them, you tell them you need them for immigration staff. They know the sizes, the correct size. So not just any passport pictures.
So I can just use my passport pictures from Ghana.
No, you can't. So there's a specific size. It should be the size. So whoever we're taking the pictures.
Do they have specific backgrounds as well?
Yeah, mostly a white background.
Okay.
So whoever we're taking them, you tell the person, and the person, they're professional. They know the size already, so they'll just go with the size that's required. So the photographs and then your passports also. We all have international passports. So you have to translate the entire pages from page 1 to the last page, even empty pages. So if you did transit somewhere, let's say in Egypt or Turkey, or there's a bit of Arabic in your passport or a bit of Turkish in your passport, they'll have to translate everything as well. So after that has been translated, you then notarize it, and then you put everything together. So passport together with a translation.
You need your passport translated, the entire passport. So for the Ghanaian passport, I think the regular one is 32 pages, and the I think advanced one is like 48, or diplomatic
Yeah.
one, yeah, 48 pages. So you have to translate the entire pages
So you have to translate the entire
and
pages
notarize
and
it.
notarize them.
So
Yes.
okay, so I have my notarized and translated passport now.
Mhm.
What else do I need? The passport pictures.
So the passport pictures, yes. So those are some, I think, 4 of them as well. So the form, passport pictures, the passport, you translate it and notarize. That is the third stage. The fourth document you are supposed to have is your immigration card. That's
Your
more card.
green dataroscopy card.
That's also required. But this
Okay.
one is the immigration card that they give you right at immigration, like at the point of entering into Russia Federation.
And you need that
That's small.
registration card.
Very good. So,
Okay.
so that's the immigration card. And then your registration. That means the registration of the place you live. So if it's in a hostel, they give you a registration. If it's an apartment, you should have a registration. But
You
the
need
apartment,
original for this because I think the school keeps the original and they give you a copy. Because
so you just have to. It could be a copy. It could be anything. But because if you get there, they will not take the original from whatever you have. They'll just take a photocopy of what you have.
oh, okay, so that means okay.
A photocopy of what you have of the immigration card and also the registration. And we've talked about the SPRAFCA and then the VUPISCA as well. So that's also another thing. Your medical certificate, your police reports, and then your state duty fee. So these are the requirements.
Okay, so I've done all this. I've submitted. Let's say on the 10th of January. How long does it take?
So after submission and going through a fingerprint processing, they will give
You go through a fingerprint.
Yeah, they'll take your thumbprint
on the same day.
Same day, yes. They'll
Okay.
take your thumbprints. So after that, after the inspector goes through your documents and then if everything is okay and everything is accepted, she will issue out a SPRAFCA for you. Then last SPRAFCA, she will ask you.
Do they take your passport itself as well?
No, they don't. At that point, they don't. At that point, they don't. You just have to submit those documents. So after the documents have been submitted, if they are accepted, inspector will give you a SPRAFCA. And on that SPRAFCA, he or she will ask you to go to the nearest immigration office in your area where you live after 38 days.
In your area?
In your area where you live. Like,
okay.
This is Starropol I'm talking about, to be specific. So, in your area where you live. So, after those 38 days.
You said they will give me a SPRAFCA.
Yes.
But where I've been given the SPRAFCA, is it not an immigration place
that
I can revisit?
You can't revisit because they'll give you a specific place where to go to.
Oh, okay.
The immigration officer there,
that means there will be an address on.
The inspector will tell you that after 38 working days, you're supposed to go to this immigration office or that immigration office. If you're supposed to come back to the same place, they'll tell you to come back to the same place.
Okay.
So instead of to be specific, they'll give you a SPRAFCA with the address of wherever you're supposed to go after 38 working days. And then when you go there, they will take the SPRAFCA and then they'll bring out some sheets where you're supposed to write like the name of it, just like the gavor, like an agreement. So they'll take the SPRAFCA and then you write your name and then you write your country. 2 copies. They'll keep one. You keep one. That is when your passport will be taken from you.
Okay.
And then mostly when it's taken from you, it's going to be with them for 2 weeks. That is
after the 38 days.
After 38 days.
Okay.
That is when your passport will be taken. So when the passport is taken, it's going to be with them for 2 weeks. And after the 2 weeks, that is when they will ask you to come for it. You either receive a mail or a call or nothing at all. You just have to go there. When you realize, oh, okay, it's past 2 weeks or today, it's actually the second week. You can go there by yourself and then you ask for it.
Okay, so 38 days plus 2 weeks, which is like 14 days. Yes. So adding up, we are looking at around
almost a month and maybe a month and a half actually.
Okay. So that means
most 2 months.
When is the perfect time to apply for this? Can I apply for my first year or in the middle of my program? Let's say I'm here for 6 years.
Apply for this. So the most important thing you're supposed to know is, so far as the kind of institution you attend is accredited and also recognized both on a local level and also federal level. Once you start from first year, you qualify to apply for it. Now, if you're in first year and the course you're applying for, the course you're offering, the duration of the course is 6 years. If you apply at first year, and they give you the 5 years, like the remaining of the years to complete the course. They give you everything plus 6 months.
What do you mean by they give you everything?
Like they give it. Normally, it's supposed to be for 6 months, actually.
Okay.
So if you're in first year, so that means if the course you're offering is medicine in 6 years, if you're in first year, you have 5 years more to complete. So they issue all the 5 years to you plus 6 months. So that means every year you don't have to go to the dean's office to be renewing your visa.
Oh, okay. 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 But you said if I'm in first year, if I'm in part fact, does it also qualify?
For that, I can't say that for sure. But for language course, mostly a year. So I don't know whether those in language course qualify for it. And I've not seen anyone apply yet, like those doing language course. I bet if there's anyone somewhere who has done that, then fine. But I can't sit here and tell you for sure.
Okay. So viewers, if you are in the language program and you have applied for something like this, kindly comment. If you've not applied and you would want to apply also, I believe you can go ahead, but we don't know the results of how things are going to be. But I believe you might be able to find out the information from the immigration office before you do actually go to apply, before you go and start getting all your documents. Because I think if the language program is 1 year and is separate from your main program, I don't know if they will still qualify to give you, but I think they said for every, it's attached to education, and preparatory program or the language program is also education. So I think there's a possibility they can. So you just do your language program and maybe you apply. But I don't know if the school is going to just quickly allow you. Won't they consider whether you know the language or something? Because since you are in the language program in your first year, it looks like maybe you probably don't know the language.
One thing
Is it a
about
requirement?
one thing about this particular one, this residence permit for education purposes, is that the consideration of language is not a factor. So whether you understand the language or not, it's not a factor. Like it doesn't have any influence on it. So this, even if you have zero knowledge on the language, you can still go ahead and apply. You just have to try and then go to someone who can probably help you when it comes to you saying something. The person will help you translate to the immigration officer or inspector who will be there
Okay,
questioning
so that
you.
means you don't necessarily have to know the language. You can
No.
take someone with you that understands the language and assist you to go by. Okay, okay, okay.
Even if there's no one there to do that, so I think you have translators on your phone, so you just have to put your translator on. The officer speaks in it, whatever it is it translates into, if it's into French, English, whatever it is you understand. You read it and then respond back with a translation. And I think
Okay. With this being said, I think you can still go to our website, kundesen.com, and I think we've written about some applications that every international student needs, and Google Translator is also in there because it's one of the main apps that makes the lives of international students comfortable. So kindly do that. Okay. Going back to it. So now 38 days plus 14 days. They give me this. Is it uh in Ghana they say a sure banker? Is it certain that I'll be given this temporary residency as with the education purpose?
once the documents have been accepted, yes.
So if they don't accept the document,
So that means if your documents are lacking some vital information or they are false, then that means you have to fix them before.
so that means it doesn't really matter. They will not take my documents and come in later and tell me.
No. So it's mostly guaranteed. It's mostly guaranteed. If your documents are accepted, it should be certain that you're going to receive the residence permit for education purposes. I'm going to issue it to you.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Sylvester, for your time. I would like to ask some further questions. If you're watching us too, you can ask other questions, and we will get him to answer them within the comment section, or we will ask him the questions and answer the questions based on what uh, his experience or his knowledge on that is. Also, within our website kundesin.com, we've written an article which is fully detailed about all the things that you need. I think with his story, it's giving us a feel of an actual person applying for it. You know, you might read an article and the article will just say, oh, step one, step two, step three. But that's why we went forward or we went ahead to get this interview in addition. So this interview will also be placed on our, or it will be within our website as well, so that other things that or other frequently asked questions that you might have, we will actually combine all these questions, answer all of them, and post them on our website. So if you go to our website, within the search button, you can just type RVPO, so RVPO or something. It will just show all the articles we've written about the RVP or this is specifically for the educational purposes. We're also researching into the temporary residence permit, the regular one without the educational purpose. And I think in future, we're also looking into writing the temporary, the permanent residency permit. Uh, okay, with this said, are you planning to apply for the permanent residence permit? And if so, why?
I mean, applying for, you see, so this I report thing, what they give you is just 6 months after your studies. I finished for July, I think July 5th or so. That was last year, 2024. So July 5th, you have until September 1st before those 6 months kick into effect. So they give you for the rest of your remaining years for you to finish. If you're done, for example, I finished in July, but my 6 months started from September 1st. And so looking at things at that time, I mean, I wasn't prepared yet to go back to Ghana. So I was like, why not? The thing about the Arab was once you get it and then you're done with your studies, like you complete entirely, you have your diploma and everything. Immediately after graduating, and then the academic year begins on 1st September. Some of you might graduate like in July, but after graduating at July, you get your diploma, but you still cannot apply for the permanent one because if you get an RFL, automatically it sets at it gives you this advantage to apply for the permanent residency.
So that means it gives you a higher chance of
Higher chance
getting the
permanent
permanent
residence.
residence permit.
Yes, because before you can get a permanent residence permit, you have to get the code like just for the normal process. Like get the quota, get a temporal before you can now come and get a permanent. But if you get the temporary residence permit for educational purposes, now you skip all those processes and then you just skip to permanent residency. Now this is only certain after you're done with your course,
Your program.
and then you have your diploma. So that's one advantage of it. So yes, you asked why whether I had any plans on applying for it. I did apply for it, and I got it few days ago. So as I said here right now, I have it. So it's one of the advantages, and also some of the advantages it gives you even without the permanent residency. That is, even if you're still in school and then you have the RFP or you have it. First of all, if you get any work anywhere, like you want to go out there and then work, if the work is an official work, you don't need a work permit. It covers a work permit.
So okay,
It covers
the
a work
police will
permit.
not come
The
and
police
harass
will
you.
not come and harass you. But it covers work permit. Even most of these entrepreneurs themselves, they do not know. So if you're watching this and then you want somewhere to apply for work and then they tell you, oh, you don't have a work permit, so they can't take you in for you to work for them. And then, but if you have the RFP or even after telling them you have it and they still continue to tell you they can't take you because you have it, you explain to them that with this permit comes with a work permit like this, the RFP you have comes with a work permit, so you don't need a work permit.
So that means
Unless
the entrepreneurs themselves should
most
also
of them,
look into it.
yes, most of the entrepreneurs do not know. So you have to
Okay.
tell them and explain it to them. They will make the research themselves, and then after that, they'll realize, okay, it's true. And then if they still want to hire you, they'll go ahead and hire you.
Oh, okay. Okay. You from the explanation, that means that is after the 6 months. But within the regular program, let's say I'm still a student, I can still be working with this without having been harassed or something,
Yes,
right?
yes. So far as you have it, you can still be working with it. So there are certain factors that can lead to the cancellation of it. If you get expelled, is one. If you get some administrative fines, they can cancel it. And also,
What do you mean by administrative fine?
like you break the law,
Okay.
you
Okay.
break the law, and then you have to pay fines, certain fines. And then if you do that for 2 or more times, it can serve as a ground for cancellation. And also, if in some instances, I said if you switch schools, so if you're in Styropol and then let's say you switch to a store, it can be cancelled. And sometimes, if you provide the information of the transfer on time to the immigration office, they
can transfer your
yes, they can transfer, or if they can either transfer it or readjust it in a way. So let's say if you're supposed to be in a third year in the Styropol State Medical University, you take a transfer to Rostov, and then they take you to second year. So that means you have more years now. So you have to go for them to readjust it to the number of years left for you to complete your
so that means
program.
the best thing is to get ahead of it.
Ahead of it, yes.
Okay.
So if you don't get ahead of it, your school definitely will have to send information that, okay, this guy, Mr. ABC, has transferred from our school to a different school, and then automatically they nullify it or they cancel it. You will be, it's going to be, I mean, if they notify you that it's been cancelled, then of course it's good. But sometimes they'll not notify you. I mean, I've not found a situation where someone has have years cancelled. I've not found myself in a situation like that. No, I've not seen someone who went through the processes and then got years cancelled. But
Okay. So with this being said, I think we are mostly done with almost every relevant question about this adverb. I might not have asked Dr. Sylvester here about some questions, so just leave them in the comments below, and we will actually find a way to get them answered. Apart from that, this is for the temporary residency permit with educational purpose. So he said he's already applied for the permanent residency and has gotten it. I think that will be in a different interview, and he will dive deep into that one as well, and how he got it and the benefits he can now start probably getting as a permanent resident permit. I have one question with that one. We from Africa or we from Ghana, sometimes we hear that, Charlie, if you are in a different country and you have a permanent resident, they allow you to take a car loan, or you can get a car and a house and all those things and be paying small, small. I'm sure these are some of the questions people that are trying to move into different countries might be thinking about. Also, if you are watching this and you are living illegally in Russia, this particular channel or this particular podcast will be interviewing a lot of people. This channel is for international students and also probably all international or all other foreign citizens living in Russia currently. We might be moving to different countries from time go on to interview other people on their struggles or their specific experience. Apart from that, too, uh, we will go ahead to be writing different articles within our website. So I encourage you to go to our website. Our website again is kundeson.com, KUNDESON.com. And you can leave us a comment over there, or you can ask any question within our websites, and we will definitely reply or respond to your questions. So I think if nothing is there, we would like you to give your final words and your advice to students that are either coming to the federation or that are already here or that are thinking or on staying because of the story you've just given us?
Well, the only thing I can actually say before I even proceed on to say that, if you're doing an online course, you don't qualify for it. Sorry, should have said that. Online course, or if you're doing night classes and stuff, you don't qualify for it. But if you are
So,
just doing ad natura and stuff, they qualify for it.
so
Ad
you should be
natura,
in a full
in a full like
steady.
steady form,
Okay.
like you're supposed to be going to classes and stuff, not online and not
Part time
but
online
no,
or anything.
part time online.
So my people, you heard it here first. If you are doing online, you have to find a way to change it. But then again, you know the reason why you are probably doing the online, but you might not qualify for this. Okay.
All right. So the first advice I would like to give with regards to this is, I mean, if you have any plans of trying to stay behind, first of all, the first thing you should try yourself to do is to try to assimilate, get understanding of the language first. Knowing the Russian language is very important, actually. I mean, not with regards to getting the temporary residency permit for educational purposes. I mean, I'm speaking generally. So because if you understand the language and then you can express yourself like even in a little way in the language, if you meet them, if you're talking with them, I mean, some of them, most of them become impressed. Whatever you want, it's like it becomes easier for you to get. But if you have plans of staying behind, at the same time, take the decision not to try to assimilate or try to get understand the language or speak the language, then it's going to be tough or difficult for you. There may be people who actually do not speak the language and they are doing just fine. Well, you'll never know. You might not be lucky like the way they are, whatever they are doing. So that's the first advice. So try and then assimilate. And also it comes with um, there are advantages and disadvantages, of course. And most of the disadvantages you get to enjoy. Uh, if you have anywhere you can work, it comes with it. So if you think going back to your country is not the safest idea for you right now, or it's not the safest option or the right option for you now, this is the right channel to try to do it. Don't wait till the last minute. Maybe get to your final year, second semester, trying to do that. Mostly there's no time actually. So I spoke of 8 days and then those 2 weeks. So that's almost 2 months actually. So don't wait till the last minute. So if you're in first, second, third year, you can start applying for it now. Don't wait till you get to your final year. So if you're interested, just try to start working on it as soon as possible. That is if you want to. If not, if you wait till the last minute, most times you will get there and you they probably will tell you what it's too late and then they can issue it to you. So be on the watch out and work on that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Sylvester, for your time. I know we came to your humble abode to interview you. You have hosted us very well, and so uh, all I can say is thank you very much. And we hope to reschedule for a special or a different interview into the permanent residency permit. Yes. Is there a specific name for that one in Russian?
No, it says a permanent residence.
In Russian, what is it called?
Vid, vid na жительство. Vid na жительство. So that's
Vid
it.
na жительство. Age pressure.
Vid na жительство.
You see that? That's why he said learn the language. Charlie, you are managing small. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr.
You're welcome.
Sylvester.
All right.
Salute,
See ya.
salute.
Salutes.